Hey guys, and welcome back to another video on the Simple Car Guy channel. Today I will show you how to find a leak in your air conditioning system without having to use any fancy tools or specialty tools or anything like that. I purchased this set of gauges on Amazon for about 20 bucks, and then I got one of these reusable gauge and hose Freon cans for another $25 at the local auto store. And I'll show you how I adapted this to work with my shop air in the garage to find the leaks. And only after that we'll be able to put in the R134A into the system once we know it's leak free. So the idea here is to take your yellow line, which is going to be the input, which would normally connect to like a Freon machine or whatever. I don't even know, and it doesn't matter for what we're doing here. And then I have adapted just one of these male connectors that will then just connect into my air hose. And that's it. So we can close it or open it from here. So we have control when the air is going into the system. And just to be clear, you only want to do this if you're 100% sure that there's no Freon in your system and you have a big leak. So how do we find out if we have any air in the system? Well, it's as simple as plugging one of these into your low pressure line. So this goes, well, for me, it's going to be over there. There's a plug. You put this on top, and then it just shows that you are at 0 PSI. All I was trying to do really is recharge my system because I was getting no cold air. But yeah, once it showed me that there's 0 pressure in the system, now I want to find out where that leak is, replace the parts that need to be replaced, retest it using the same tools, and then put the actual Freon in. And of course, we're going to use the other two ends to connect to the car. They only go in one way, so the low pressure goes in low pressure and the high pressure goes in high pressure. They will not clip on any other connectors on your car. So pretty foolproof right there. All right, so here is my high pressure line. It's going to be on this car just on the left in the front here. So we're going to open it up. This just unscrews. It's literally just a cap. And then we're going to push it down while pulling it back. There it is. As you can see, there is no pressure, like I mentioned. Now we're going to find the low pressure line and do the same thing. Now this side is going to be a little bit trickier because it's way behind the air box over here. But I do have the aftermarket air box, so it might be just a little bit easier if you have the standard one. But same thing. Go in the back. There you go. It clipped in. This is still closed. I just set my air compressor to maximum pressure of 30 PSI. Obviously, this can handle much more than that, but I do not want to do that. I'm just going to set it to 35. It's going to be plenty for what we need to do. All right, so with everything connected, I'm going to open up the valve and let some of the air into the system. And with some compressed air in the system, we can now see the pressure is in the system. So we have, well, like I said, 35 or almost 40 PSI on the low side and about the same on the high pressure side. But what we're doing now is actually listening for leaks. So I'm gonna get really quiet and just go in the area and see where the air is coming from, because I can actually hear it all the way from here. All right, so I can definitely hear a leak somewhere in here, but I don't know where it is exactly. So what I'm gonna do is gonna grab my microphone and I'm gonna put it in here so you can hear what I'm hearing. All right, so it definitely sounds like it's coming from that area over there. I got some soapy water and I'm just gonna spray it and see if I see any bubbles. All right, guys, so I have a definitive answer now. I can stop it with my finger. I need to replace this entire condenser for the air conditioner. Now let's go over the process one more time to make sure it's clear to everyone. I'm using a set of very cheap gauges with an air compressor to put some pressure into the system in order to find a leak. The air compressor provides constant air pressure, giving you plenty of time to look for that leak. Now that I have found the leak in the condenser, it's time to get it replaced. This isn't a how-to on how to remove the condenser, as I'm not doing it by the book. Once again, to be very clear, do not disconnect any part of the AC system if there's any Freon left. Anyway, here's how I remove the condenser from the car. Like I said, I really don't want to drain the coolant. Is this easier? No. Is this a lot less mess? 100%. Is it possible to remove one? Yes. Would I recommend it? Probably not. Well guys, I think I know why it's leaking. As you can see, this is not original BMW condenser. So this is some aftermarket cheapo one. And that's why it was leaking here. Alright guys, so 2 days and $50 later, I have a used, but in good condition, condenser for my BMW 335. Let's get it installed, check for leaks, and if there's no leaks, well, basically we're done after filling it with some Freon. Let's do it. I have also cleaned the mating surfaces and replaced the O-rings on both of the hoses or whatever they are that go to the condenser. I'm just gonna clean these up a little bit as well and put it back in the same way I took it out. There it is. Now you gotta position it actually in the right spot because it's not. You have to not forget this clip. Almost forgot. We have to install these little retaining pins. I removed them because it was easier to get this whole thing, you know, behind the radiator without the clips being in the way. All right guys, so that's kind of as close as I can get you to show you. But yeah, this line's already kind of attached, so I just need to put the bolt in and tighten it. I'm gonna do one at a time. Okay, we're ready for a test. All right, so I have my compressor set to about 40 PSI, maybe 45, something like that. I'm listening for any leaks. I don't hear any, so that's good so far. I'm gonna close the valve on my input. So close this completely, make sure this is tight. Disconnect my line so we're no longer providing any pressure. And I'm gonna leave it for, I don't know, for 5-10 minutes and make sure it does not go down, stays at the same pressure level. That will tell me that there's no leaks. And of course, at the same time, I'm gonna go ahead and search for any leaks. And what I'm gonna use for that is this silly tool. So basically, it's like whatever the doctors use, you put it on in your ears, and then you listen for any leaks around the engine bay. All right, so I don't hear any leaks, and especially in this area where I just did the connection and was replacing parts, so that's a good sign. I'm gonna leave it for a little bit more, and then we'll get back to reassembling everything. All right, with that test done, I feel confident enough to reassemble this whole ordeal and put some Freon in the car. Now, this next part is very important. I do not recommend putting Freon into the system without removing the moisture and air out of that said system. I'm doing this as an extra test and to show you that the fix has worked. I have since taken the car to a professional to have it fully evacuated and recharged. Failure to do so will result in air and moisture stuck in the system, reducing the heat transfer capabilities of the refrigerant, and may cause corrosion in other parts of the AC system, such as the evaporator, compressor, and control valves in the future. And there you have it, guys. We have a result. The air coming out of the vent started out at around 75 degrees, and now it's around 55 and going down as the Freon is circulating through the system. And you can definitely feel the cold air coming through now. Anyway, I hope this helped you troubleshoot your own AC leak without any specialty tools. If your system has some Freon left, you can take it to get it evacuated and then fix the leak yourself before getting it recharged. This should still save you some money at the end. And now that you're done watching this video, why not check out the video where I installed wireless CarPlay on this 10-year-old BMW.